engagement. It's a pleasure. Jais Bank is like a home to me because I was, one of the pioneer staff of Jais Bank years ago, over a decade now, when Jais Bank opened its doors to the public. I can see one of my colleagues, Sister Hajara Shuaibu, we work together. So it's a pleasure to be back here and to be speaking on the topic, branding your MSME, your unique selling proposition. And I want to say congratulations to all the MSMEs in the house for this, on this auspicious day of the celebration of the UN celebration of MSMEs worldwide. It's a beautiful acknowledgement of the contribution MSMEs make to national development. So, like Mr. Ibrahim introduced me, my name is Aisha Tadaviruku. Unfortunately, I'm in transit and I had to take this. I hope, please, if you can hear me loud and clear, let me see you state it in the chat. Mr. Ibrahim, can you hear me loud and clear?
Very loud and clear, Aja.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So, let's go straight to the topic so we can maximize time. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mohammed Nazir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So, when we talk about branding, it's one of the most important things that we can do for the success of our business, right? And there is an interesting thing that I want to quickly mention to us. It's about two people who were sent to, a remote part of, a remote village to sell shoes to the inhabitants of the village. And one of them called back to headquarters and said, well, no one wears shoes in this village, so we can't sell shoes here. And the second person called headquarters and said, please send more shoes. No one wears shoes in this village. There is a huge market for shoes here. So when we talk about branding, the first thing is the mindset of the promoter. It's one of the most important elements that an individual brings to business, your mindset. Is your mindset geared towards seeing the opportunities, or you are no sound? Mr. Ibrahim, confirm you can hear me. Someone is saying no sound. So, hello?
I think the person should check his audio. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Please, I'll be reading the chat. Just prompt me if there is any disconnect. So, when it comes to your business, okay, thank you. When it comes to your business, the most important thing that you can possess is to have a success mindset. It is key. And when it comes to branding and your unique selling proposition, there are elements to look at. We'll be looking at about 6 of those elements to take attention to pay attention to when branding your business, to ensure that your business is successful. Thank you. So, what exactly is branding? Branding are the deliberate actions you take to influence people to buy from you, to patronize you, to key into your products and services. And it's not only one of. We're talking consistent. We're talking of you want repeat customers. And this is what branding is all about. And the first element we'll be looking at is strategy. What is your strategy? And when the elements under strategy are the name you choose, the purpose of your business, your story, your audience, and your message. I'm going to take them briefly one by one. When you talk about the name of your business, it should be a name that can be easily pronounced by people, and can be easily remembered. When you look at names like CK, Apple, Microsoft, is it any wonder that, they are international world-class brands? Is it any wonder? So when you want to choose a business name, you have to make it a name that can be easily remembered and recognized. Then the purpose of your business, why do you exist? You have to ask yourself, because there are other people in your particular industry offering, similar products and services that you're offering. So why do you exist? If you are able to answer the purpose for which you exist, like I want to use example of Microsoft. When Bill Gates started out, he said he wants computer systems in every home. And are we not getting there today? Are we not getting there today? We are. So if you define your why and you pursue your why, you're more likely to become a recognized brand. Then your story. What is the story of your business? We have one of the stories I love so much is the story of Apple and Steve Jobs. It's not the level of your education, it's the level of your commitments to what you want to achieve. And when you look at Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg started it in his dorm room. His story, you read some stories about some of the people he invited to join the founding of Facebook, but they declined. And some of the people that sold off their shares in the beginning. And you begin to wonder what differentiates a world-class brand from a brand that dies. It's because they understand most of these elements we're discussing today, and they were able to be consistent with infusing it in their stories, in their purpose, in their message. So your audience, who are your target audience? The story I mentioned in the beginning about the village and the people who don't wear shoes, right? When you look at it critically, one of my teachers said something, and it's very interesting. He said that when it comes to business today, you can actually create the problem and create the solution. You don't have to set out to actually solve a problem. Like, we didn't know we needed Facebook, and Mark Zuckerberg said we needed Facebook. We didn't know we needed Instagram, but he said we needed Instagram, and everybody is on Instagram. So what's that problem that you can create and the solution so that you can get people to key into it? But beyond this, right, let's go down to, day-to-day needs of people. Who are your audience? Where do they hang out? What kind of channels, can you get your message across to them? So in your day-to-day business, you need to be able to define your target audience so that you can couch your unique selling proposition to be able to capture their attention, and not only their attention, but their pockets, right? So it's very important for us to look at this when we are defining our audience and how to actually get them to patronize us. And then all of this will show up in your message. And there is one other unique, attribute that I'm going to mention at the end that is key when it comes to your business, your branding, and all of that. So now the second element I mentioned, we're going to look at about 6. The second element is the positioning. When it comes to positioning, you have to be able to ask yourself, who are your competitors? And what's different about you? What's that unique thing you offer? Is it your cost? Is it your price? Is it your location? What is that thing that sets you apart from your competitors? And some of the ways to actually get to know those things that set you apart from your competitors is by doing market research, right? You need to be able to do market research from from the beginning of your business, you need to be able to do market research. And when you do market research, you're able to know, okay, the XYZ is available in this location. Do I want to also offer XYZ in this location? Or is there another location that may need XYZ that can offer, that same product? Is it the same price or a different price tag? What's likely to appeal? What's likely to appeal to when you open a business in a university environment? What's likely to appeal to students in that environment versus if you open a business in an upscale neighborhood? So in an upscale neighborhood, you're looking at class. You're looking at, making the business as appealing and classy as, because you know that you would get your return on investment. But I am not saying that you cannot have class in a campus environment, but the levels, the branding would be different so that you can maximize your return on investment. So you have to look at what differentiates you and how you're going to infuse this in your brand message is very key. And you also, the third element you need to pay consistent attention to is how do you live your brand story? So if your brand story, for instance, is that you are interested in offering value to students on campus, and this value comes with class, it should show in what you're offering to the students on campus. So your story, like when you enter a business and you see the story, for instance, carved on the wall, and the story is one of class, but you see that the environment is not classy, there is already a disconnect between what the story is and what the reality is. And this can be off-putting for your clients. And the first one is your ideal customer avatar. So your ideal, it's very interesting, you need to define what's an ideal customer avatar. A customer avatar is for you to sit down and come up with the characteristics of your ideal customer. So assuming that Niyi and Ngozi are your ideal customer, you need to be able to get into their heads to know where do they hang out, what do they do, what kind of food do they eat, what do they do on a day-to-day. Because if you're able to capture Niyi and Ngozi, you're likely to be able to scale. There are millions and millions of Niyi and Ngozi out there for you to capture. But you need to be able to provide what Niyi and Ngozi wants first. What's their pain point? How can you solve their problems? When you are able to do this, you'll be able to brand your offering properly, and you do the investment required of you to actually give this back. Then, I was speaking to my mentor, some days ago, Dr. Map, and we're discussing about this, my upcoming webinar. And, he made an interesting comment. He said that when it comes to branding, you and somebody can have the same A as your brand name, but the font size may just be what's different. So your brand needs to show up in your logo. It needs to show up in your colors. There are some colors up till date. Some people would say that you cannot replicate Coke color because it's a secret. So you see that when you have this kind of brand secret and you continuously ensure that it's consistent, what happens with that is that you are able to again and again provide the kind of value your customers want from you. So the most important of all this, we've spoken a lot about your brand name, how being consistent with how you show up in your brand, about your solving the pain point of your customer. If you do not have a manual a manual that documents what all of this is about for your brand. You may not be able to maintain and be consistent with your brand because, staff may move or you may not be present when, you need to communicate an important message. So it's very important that as the lead of the brand manual, it should detail how you present your story to the public. It should detail your ideal customer avatar. It should detail your messaging. It should detail your logo. Everything must be taken from there for any brand message going out. Otherwise, that shows up if you're not consistent. And this may likely be off-putting to them. So if you see Apple logo anywhere, it's Apple logo. If you see CK logos anywhere, it's CK logo. So this, when you see brand messages like the difference is clear, people even say the difference is 7-Up, right? When you see things like good thinking, good product. So let your message be consistent. And one of the most important things you can do for yourself is to ensure that you have these documented. One of the most important places I've seen this work is in banking, where you have your standard operating manual. It's the holy book of banking. In short, if you do anything that you feel you will be queried, you can check the standard operating manual first to even see the level of query you're going to get as a banker. So as a business person, ensure that we pay attention to all of this, and I pray for the success and the scaling of your business. So your strategy should include how you intend to scale your business. Because if you look at businesses like Facebook, businesses like Apple business, a one-man business, so know the kind of people you want to bring on board as partners. This is the 7th element that is very important that you need to pay attention to. So wherever you, as the founder of the business, you feel you have weaknesses, bring people on board that complement what you're offering, so that together you can be able to have a firm strategy that is consistent and can actually scale. Because don't think of your business so I'm going to round off now. Don't think of your business as small. Think of it as something that can scale. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And please tell me in the chat what you learned today and how you plan to implement it.
Thank you so much, Adia, Aisha, Adabiruku. Personally, I think I've actually learned a lot. Being a digital strategist myself, it feels good to listen to other people's point of view, and you can add that to your own little knowledge that you have. But that's a very beautiful one. Thank you so much, Adia. And I'm sure that from the comment section, I could hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm enjoying this section. Thanks for this. It's my excellent presentation." You can imagine, even without the slide, everybody still understood everything you were actually trying to tell us. And interestingly, let me just do a recap in just 10 seconds. This is true. As a business person, you need to understand your story about the business. And all the examples you've cited here are all correct and all very, very passionate. I love all the story you've actually shared. You need to know how to position yourself, especially in this age. You can have the same business with people and share one or two differences with them. So your ideal customer, your avatar, this is very, very interesting. Thank you so much, Ajay, and thank you so much for taking within your time too as well. For the participant, I think we have a lot of them that are buzzing with a lot of questions. But before we do that, I want you participants, if you can hear me, let's go to Twitter now. Go to your Twitter handle and share one or two experience about what Ajay Aisha have shared. So let's start from there. So it's going to be practical now. Go to your Twitter page. The hashtag there is what? The hashtag there is what? MSME 2022. That's the hashtag. So MSME 2022. Go to your Twitter page. If you've done that, we're going to see from, you can tag Jais Bank at Jais Bank PLC or Jais Bank NG on Twitter, on Facebook, and LinkedIn and Instagram too as well. MSME 2022. You can also have this hashtag Jais Bank Cares, Jais Bank PLC Cares. You know, let's have some hashtag trends today. You know, Jais Bank Cares, MSME 2022. We will give you 2 minutes to go to your Twitter page to do this. After 2 minutes, we'll come back to where we can have the second facilitator coming to tell us how we can access facility in Jais Bank PLC, as well as showcase to us different products and services that Jais Bank PLC has for us. If you have done that, go to this chat section, let us know. Have you done that? Have you gone to your Twitter page to share the Jais Bank hashtag, sharing your experience about what you learned about your story, about your ideal customer? You know, please stop sharing your screen. I could see someone trying to share the screen. Please don't share your screen. The screen should only be shared by the 2 facilitators for today. So if you've gone to Twitter to say 1 or 2 posts using the hashtag, let's see your response from this chat section in the next 60 seconds. So for those of us that are asking what is the hashtag is this, what is showing on your screen. If you can see my screen now, MSME 2022, Jais Bank Cares. So this is the hashtag you're going to use, MSME 2022, Jais Bank Cares. So let's go to Twitter to do this and share your experience of what you've learned from what Aja Aisha actually shared with us this morning. Wonderful presentation, Aja Aisha. Thank you so much once again for this. So if you have done this, let's continue. Yes. For the next discussion, let me just bring to your notice every participant. We have a gift for either 5 or 6 participants here. And one of the gifts you'll be getting is this. Let me tell you what you're going to win. Definitely being maybe a compliance bank like Jais Bank PLC. So we need to tell you what you'll be winning. So you don't just assume we'll give you after. So we need to let you know. So at the end of this second section, we are going to select 5 participants to win free knowledge. And we are going to help you take your business to the internet, which means we are going to help you build what we call Google My Business websites. So you can be different from other people that are having the kind of business they are also having. So we are going to select 5 participants, which we are going to help you to take your business to the internet free of charge. We'll register your business on Google My Business, it's free, and we'll walk you through how to have your own website with Google. So it will help you with your search engine optimization. It will help you to be found on the internet. It will help you to take your business to the next level. So immediately after the second section, we'll have some questions which we're going to share with you. We'll share the question on the screen. So whichever participant that wants to speak. So we're going to do it on the first come, first serve basis. Raise up your hand and we call you. Once you get the answer, you'll be among the winners. Aja Aisha, do you still have some few time for us, please?
Yes, please. I'm here to answer questions if there are any.
Okay, I can see I have some hands up. Let's answer. Let's give opportunity for like 2 participants to ask their question. The first person here is Shuaibu El Kanawi. Is that correct? Shuaibu, please, kindly unmute yourself, please, Shuaib. Shuaib, can you hear us? Kindly unmute yourself, Shuaib. Okay, if we don't, if we can't hear Shuaib, let's go to the next person, Idris Ibrahim. Idris, please unmute yourself and ask a question. You have the chance, you have the floor now. Idris Ibrahim, unmute yourself and go ahead and ask a question, please. You are asked to unmute yourself, Idris Ibrahim. Can you do that? Okay. Okay, we can't hear Idris Ibrahim. Okay, let's unmute Abbas. Abbas Raji, are you there? Unmute yourself, Abbas. Hello, Abbas Raji. Oh, great.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm very happy for the lecture delivered by our very noble sister, Aisha Adaruku. We say thank you, and may you be enriched more in knowledge.
Amen.
Okay, my own question is this. Over time, I work with a kind of private organization. I used to sit down, to just replicate or to have something similar to theirs. And I used to feel I had the potential, but each time I venture to start it, I used to feel like I'm being paid salary 2 months, 3 months. So if I just have to leave and embark on my own, is it going to succeed? Am I going to make it? Things like that. So the fear continued to come up for some time. And as a result of that, we are not able to start anything tangible. So I wouldn't know which advice that can be given as well for us to be able to move a giant step, so that salary of a thing will not stop us from establishing or initiating our own business, which we hope is going to be best in future to come. I think that is the question I want to, yeah.
Thank you so much, Madam Bass. We really appreciate your contribution to this. Aja, you want to say one or two things to that, man?
Yes. So I can understand you because I've been through the journey that you struggle with right now. For me, I have worked in about 4 banks here in Nigeria, and while I was in banking, I was also interested in establishing my own business. And one of the beautiful things I did was to get mentors that were already doing what I was doing and ask them, how did you do this, or how are you doing this? Because I'm actually interested. In short, at Muslim Professionals in Dawa, I gave a presentation about 2-3 years ago on the Muslim man and his, that's the Muslim man or woman and their business. And, it's about when even as an employee, it's assumed that you are a businessman because you are actually exchanging your time for a return. Now, you know that your time that you give to the business where you're working right now is a manner. So they pay you wages. So it's very important that you actually work those hours. I've seen individuals who struggle because they'd rather not be there, and the work is suffering, and yet their business is not moving forward. So know that for you to be able to grow, you need to commit maybe 2 hours in your weekend. This was what one of my mentors told me. Said, Aisha, you have 24 hours, 48 hours, during the weekend. What can you begin to do with your weekend so that gradually you can grow into that thing you really want to do, which is, for me, I'm passionate about personal development. And this is what we do at MasterCoach Coaching and Mentoring Hub, helping people achieve the kind of results they want in their personal and professional lives. Because I've been able to do this successfully as a business person. So when my mentor told me that, said, Aisha, you have 48 hours during the weekend. How many hours do you want to dedicate to growing your business? And that's what I started doing. I carved out, and sometimes I'm in transit like I am right now. And I stop, I park, I look for a quiet place, and I have sessions with clients online. So it's about your commitment. Remember the story of the shoe people. One person saw potential, but the other person saw defeat. So what do you see in your mind is very important. And while I was in banking, I used most of my leave time to go into class to learn about growing my business and what I actually needed to offer value, because I'm very passionate about value. What do I need to offer value to my clients? And, almost all my leave time was spent in class and in different kinds of certifications. And this is, it gave me the confidence and, the content, because you can have confidence without content. So it gave me the confidence and the content to do what I do. So I want to ask you, brother, what time are you willing to dedicate to actually doing this thing you have identified you want to do? And who are your mentors? It's very important for you to know, I say mentorship is riding on the shoulders of giants. I have lots of mentors, and I am not afraid to share my challenges with them. And I have confidence in implementing the strategies they share with me. And I also pay for strategy sessions beyond mentorship. I actually go and sit, with business coaches. I'm also a business coach myself, but it doesn't stop me from, paying for sessions. So you need to ask yourself, what part of your salary do you want to allocate to investing in your dream? And you can actually, go get a business coaching so that they can handhold you through this process. Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim.
Thank you so much, Aisha. That's a wonderful feedback you've actually given to us. Actually, everyone that has similar questions, they have been optimized with this. Thank you so much for that response. And because of time, I could see we have over 10 hands up. So we might not be able to take the question now. So we advise you to hold on to this program at the end of this session. Aisha, she's still very much with us, so you have enough time to ask your questions. We'll need to bring on board the second speaker that will be walking us through all of what all she has told us.